one of the major issues, one of the major changes that we've seen is technology. When I graduated, when I was in planning school, there was no internet, no GIS, no personal computers, no social media, none of the things that we take for granted now that help us do our jobs. When I was a student and I wanted to run a statistics program, I would have to punch in cards and then take it to the mainframe, and they would feed it in, and then I'd get my results maybe a day later. So now we take for granted so much of the technology we have that allows us to reach out to people through social media, allows us to communicate quickly by email, allows us to have this type of an interaction online, allows us to search the internet to do our research. There's just so many changes that now it's much easier to do a good job of planning using technology. The other thing that I think has changed a lot throughout my career is I actually graduated, I started planning in 1980. I graduated from school in 1981. And when I first worked for the city of Gainesville, we were aware of the 1975 Local Government Comprehensive Planning Act, but we didn't really, it didn't really have an enforcement mechanism. And so we didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. It was kind of there. We would look at it every now and then and think, well, that's what they think we ought to be doing. But it was not a central focal point for our work. And then in 1985, when the Growth Management Act came along, all of a sudden you really needed to pay attention because there were real sanctions available if you didn't follow through. And also, citizens could challenge you based on the failure to implement your comprehensive plan. So, and the state, of course, there was a lot of state direction. The state would find you in compliance or not in compliance with the state legislation. So you really had to do that. And then as I came toward the end of my career, because I retired about in 2019, toward the end of my career, there was sort of a pendulum swing, and of course the legislature ended up taking away some of the state oversight for comprehensive planning. A lot of the state requirements were still there, but there was much less state involvement in ensuring that those were being met. So there's been also a lot of change over the course of my career on to what extent has the state been involved and what kind of regulations do you have to follow, and also, how important regional planning has been.